My name is Ray, and my partner name is Jay, and we are land investors. In less than 3 years, the land business has changed our lives in ways we can only imagine. We want to show you how to do the same exact thing we did to change our family's future forever, just as you can for yours. Welcome to Land and Legacy. I am Ray.
And I am Jay.
And we are
the
Acre Boys. Once again, we're here with our partner in crime. I'll let him introduce himself.
Once again, people, salutations again. My name is Cardigan Harris in conjunction with Producers Estates and JCL and Land and Legacy. Let's work out, people.
All right, so today's topic is we were having a conversation on a Zoom call, and one of the people that we were talking to, they were like blown away that we did a deal that we netted about $60,000 on that deal, and they were like really blown away by it. And me and Jay was just saying like, look, there's no difference in doing a deal for $5,000 and $60,000. So that's the topic we want to touch on today. What is the difference between doing the deal for $5,000 or $60,000?
So what happens is the systems and everything are the same. So I'm going to give you a prime example of how exactly that works. The mapping systems are the same. The way you go about doing the deal is absolutely the same. Every system that you need in order to go ahead and bring that deal to the market and actually get it sold is the same thing as you. So the denominations are 5 and you got $50,000. Now, this is why we say sometimes it is definitely good to add a 0 to what you're doing, because it's the same work. You're not doing less work for $5,000. You're not doing more work for $50,000. What you're essentially doing at that point in time is the same amount of time that's going to take you to make 5 is the same amount of time that's going to take you to make 100,000 or 150,000. The processes and the systems are all still the same.
You want to chime in on that?
Yeah, so good point. Infrastructure is important. So obviously, through Land and Legacy, the course that's established already, the infrastructure is there. So once that's there, the leadership and the upline is there, the support system. The key is you don't want to reinvent the wheel. Whatever works, you stick to whatever works. Don't try to veer off and say, hey, I think I can 10x my money if I do this, or if I work a little harder, do this. What's been laid out is a blueprint in the floor level for you to take the opportunity and the information and take it to the next level. Whether your acquisition is 5,000, whether your acquisition is 100,000. Clearly, that point in between where you want to make your margin of profit is important. So if I 10x my money on $1,000, we know what that number is. If I 10x my money on $100,000, we know those numbers. The analytics and the percentages are still the same. The work ethic is what's important. If you continue with that, like I said, with the leadership, don't reinvent the wheel. Stick with what works. Stick with what you know. You have good leadership here with JCL. So that's my view on that.
And my spill is there is something that's called financial temperature, right? We all have a financial temperature.
Yeah, I know it too well.
Now, if yours is set to 5,000, you're not gonna make over $5,000. If you do make over 5,000, say you made 10,000 the next month. The following month, you're gonna make another $5,000. It's gonna average back to the $5,000. Once you reset your financial temperature to 50,000, and that comes over time, right? There's rungs on that ladder. So you go from 5, I made 5, I made 10, I'm comfortable with making 10, I made 15, I'm comfortable with making 15. Nobody wants to go back less. You know, we don't want to make less money. You know, like on a job, you don't make $30 an hour, then they pay you $35 an hour, and you go in your boss's office and say, do me a favor, can you pay me $30?
Knock me back down.
Yeah, knock me back down. You know, the name of the game is to continue to scale up. And once you set your financial temperature to a certain point, it's just amazing how the universe and things just come into play, and it keeps you on that level. Like for me now, I won't consider looking at a deal where I'm only netting $3,000 or $5,000. We don't even look at deals anymore if we're only making $5,000 on the deal. I pass on them. And I'm not saying that I'm bougie, because Lord knows $5,000 is still $5,000.
Yeah.
It still could be put towards something. But the same work, as Jay stated, the same work and the same effort that it would take me to make the $5,000, it would take me the same input to make $50,000. So I'd rather pass on the $5,000 deal and focus my time and energy on the $50,000 deal. So you may be thinking, but what if I don't have a $50,000 deal? Well, wait till you get one.
It will come.
Or settle for your $5,000 deals. Or say, I'm gonna do 10 $5,000 deals at one time to get to the 50. You just have to raise your financial temperature up, to say the least.
And one thing that I'm going to add on that too, because really when you're talking about financial temperature, you're talking about self-image. So it's really what you really feel about yourself. So if you're looking at the number at any denomination, like you said, we all start from, especially in places where we come from, we all start at a lower place because you're only going to identify with what you see. So once you identify with what you see, you may feel subconsciously that that's all that you're actually worthy of. So that's what you're going to attract, whatever's on that level. Now, it's another thing to say about being confident. You don't start out becoming confident. You become competent first at what you're doing, and you being competent is going to give you the confidence in order to see better deals and see opportunities. If you're in a certain frame of mind, once you're in a certain frame of mind,
go ahead,
and you don't understand that everything that's inside of your environment is exactly what you're vibrating towards. So actually, when he starts to bring up that financial temperature, you'll start to see opportunities and all different things that you were not allowed to see at that lower level. That's it.
Let me say something too. So exponential growth, right? And that comes through experience. And there's a conversation that we had years ago, right? And one thing I learned from you guys too is you speak and you see things from your vantage point, right? So what's in front of you is what you see or what you may aspire to be. So there's people who have had conversations with and they say, hey, look, I'm happy with just an additional $1,000 a month. Or I'm happy with $5,000. This is the financial temperature that raised up, right? So we had these conversations where, and I don't know if you remember this, Jake, but we had a conversation and you told me this is about 6-7 years ago. I want to make $40,000 a month, $50,000 a month. And at that time, my vantage point, I was like,
I remember.
yeah, we're
right.
I won't say that we're reaching.
Right.
But look, hey, I'm all
You had
for
to turn that temperature on.
at that point in time, my temperature wasn't up. Now, we've made money before in both hundreds. We've done that before.
Right.
But a consistent plan where we can accrue $50,000 a month. At that point in time, I didn't see it, right? Until we got around different people. Right?
Oh, you know, I was waiting to speak because that was my next thing.
For sure.
You know, someone may say, well, hey, did you guys make, look, hey, I'm excited. I made $65,000 this month. That's my net profit in my pocket. They said, why didn't you make $100,000 a month? What happened?
Right.
What are you aspiring to be? What's holding you back? And like he said, self-image is in our mind.
It's in
And
your head.
if you can see it, it's an old cliche saying, but if you can see it, you can achieve it. And you just need the right vehicle. And buying and purchasing and flipping real land, you tell me something that's better out here, and I'm listening. Stop me when I stop telling the truth.
Pause.
Stop me when I stop telling the truth. So,
Go ahead.
Nah, I just was gonna say, yo, you gotta get around or get from around these people that's living on that wish creed and that hope creed, hoping things change. Hoping never did nothing for no rich, powerful. In the words of my man Dick Gregory. But yeah, you gotta get around some people that actually have some things going on. And I'm not saying this to say that these three brothers we're any better than anybody else, because as he just stated, at one point of time, our financial temperature wasn't always what it was. Our believability level wasn't always what it was. But when we got around some different class of people who was making a different class of money that looked just like us, it made our believability level go up to say, oh, that $40,000 a month, oh, that's a real thing. You know, that $1 million mark in 2-3 months, that's a real thing. In fact, the people that we run with now, when we first linked up with them, we made a bet. I said to them, and I'm not going to go into saying names or who they are, who our partners are, but I said to them, when we started doing business together, they say, yo, we'll have y'all make $1 million within your first year. Definitely. Hands down. Definitely. I said to them, well, if you make us, let's make a bet. If you make us $1 million in the first 6 months, we'll go and buy y'all Rolex watches. They laughed. They said, we might hit that in 3 months. Went over my head, right? Because where I'm normally from,
don't come
nobody
from that.
talks like that.
You'll never heard nobody talk like
Yeah,
that.
we don't, it's not the norm. So when we got off the phone, me and Jay, we laughed. I said, he said 3 months. I said 6. He said 3 months. And it just was like, yo, you have to, you got to get around people to expand your believability level, or jump. If it's not people that you can reach, jump into podcasts, jump into books, something that stretches you to expand your believability level, to let you know that these things do exist. When you look at us, we just, who would have thought we would have bought a property for $3.4 million? When we first started doing this, we started with tax deeds. We were buying tax deeds for $50, selling them for $1,500. But over time, we stuck with it, and it got higher. Once we hit the $1,500 mark, that was normal. Then it was like, well, if we're gonna stay here, let's do 10 of these. Then it was like, if we're gonna stay here, let's do 20 of these. The 20, let's do as many as we can of these.
That's exponential growth.
Yeah. So you gotta just, fully exploit the level that you're on until it bursts open and it forces you to have to grow and go to the next level. If you're not in that kind of situation, my advice is to find that vehicle, as he stated, find a vehicle that gives you the denominations that you seek.
And it's easier than ever now. Like when we were growing up, we didn't have access to all that internet and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Now it is so easy to go ahead and go on YouTube. You could be on Instagram and see somebody who's doing something completely different than you, and use that person as a mentor, even if you don't know them. I was reading a book one time, and they said 90% of my mentors I never met. I communicate with them through books. You have to be around somebody that's giving you a different viewpoint than what you're normally seeing. Because if you stay with that, like if you grew up around a whole bunch of people that didn't take risks, the odds of you taking risks are not that likely. If you grew up around any of those kind of people who are doing if you grew up around any of those kind of people that are playing life safe, odds are you're gonna play life safe too. So once you get out of that and you see that it's not the norm in order for you to play it safe, and you see other people that are doing different things, my advice to anybody would be to listen, watch, and then implement the same kind of things that they're using, because it's accessible to you. It's just that at that certain level that you're on, your vision is blurry. You can't really see.
You want to take us home?
I think Jake did a great job on that one, but so look, we ending this here. Okay, so if you like what you see, obviously click the link in the bio.
Comment,
subscribe button. Obviously, we got a free Discord here at Land and Legacy. People, we're transferring some financial literacy to you guys, and it's free here. Like you said, this information age, take advantage of it. It's here. We didn't have access to it growing up. We followed people. Sometimes they had good and pure intentions, and some that didn't. And obviously, we navigated our way through that, and gets us to this point here. So with that being said,
let me. I'm sorry. I know you was closing it out, but something came to mind, because I thought this was a real spicy conversation. We have these on a daily, for the record.
All the time.
We just recording it now.
So I just want to end with saying that the new religion is to have acre ambitions. We are changing lives 1 acre at a time. It's not 40 acres in a school anymore.
40 acres in a mule.
It's not 40 acres in a mule. It's 40 acres in the school. We'll show you how to get the 40 acres, but you gotta come
to class
first. And last but not least, all of this that we said, you will not go up higher staying in your circumference. Your business partners is probably on the other side of the world. Go find some new business partners. We'll catch y'all on the next time.
Deuce.
We strong together.